Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. This video is part of a 10 video series where I show you how to analyze data using pivot tables and charts in Excel. I will start by how to prepare your data, create your first pivot table. I will show you in detail how to customize the table, in detail how to sort, filter and group, everything you need to know to manage the source data, move and copy your tables, how you can use interactive pivot charts, slicers and timelines to visualize your data, how to put everything together in an interactive dashboard, and last but not least, how to save your dashboard, pivot tables and charts as templates and reuse them again. To begin with, you can move the pivot table fields as you wish in the respecting area. The pivot table will adjust its layout accordingly. For example, if I wish to see the portion of my fixed and variable expense over a month, I will drag the corresponding field into the rows area. The pivot table adjusts accordingly. Fields that you drop into the rows or the columns area will only be displayed as unique values. Duplicates will be removed, meaning if you made 100 payments in January, they will be summarized under January. If you made 200 payments categorized with variable cost, they will be summarized under variable cost. You can add data to the field areas by simply clicking on the checkbox next to them. Excel will subcategorize the data, filter and group. If you are using an exceptionally large data source, it may take Excel a long time to update the pivot table as you add each field. In this case, select the Differ Layout Update checkbox, which tells Excel not to update the pivot table as you add each field. When you're ready to see the current pivot table layout, click Update. You can add multiple fields in the rows area. The pivot table will categorize, filter, and calculate automatically. The grouping will be done based on the top field chosen. This means if I drag the categories field to the rows area and place it under the fixed and variable fields, the pivot table will categorize and filter the data automatically. Since the fixed and variable field is on top, the data will be grouped based on its categories. The pivot table will prioritize the filter based on its placement in the rows or columns area. The minus sign allows you to expand or collapse the detail of the corresponding section. In the value area, you can insert only numeric data that can be calculated. By default, Excel will sum or count the data. To change the value calculated, click on the file and choose Value Field Settings. You can summarize the values and count the data, calculate its average, max, minimum, or standard deviations, etc., etc. Otherwise, you can present the data as a percentage or difference and so on. I will cover this much in detail in the pivot table calculations part of the series. The filter area. It applies a filter to the entire pivot table. The field in the filters area contain drop-down menus that allows you to apply a filter to the entire pivot table. For example, I can filter data based on cash payments or variable expenses. You can add multiple filters to the filter area and the pivot table. The pivot table will prioritize the filter based on its placement in the filter area. When you select any cell in the pivot table, two new tabs will be shown in the ribbon, the Analyze tab and the Design tab. The Design tab offers various possibilities to customize the layout of the pivot table. The first option is to add or remove subtotals. If your table has categories and subcategories, you can use this menu to add or remove the subtotals to the table. With the second menu, you can choose to have grand totals or not. Grand totals summarize the row and column's results and are presented in a separate row or column. Under Report Layout, you can adjust the header placement in the table and make the table more detailed or compact. The compact form shows rows from multiple fields in one column. This leaves more room for numeric data. Expand and collapse buttons are displayed. The outline form displays one column per field. It provides space for field headers. Displays subtotals at the top of every group. The tabular form displays one column per field, provides space for field headers. This layout takes too much horizontal space. When you finish your report and must present it on a small printed page, the focus must be on the values. So prioritize the available space to what you want your viewer, customer, to focus on. The compact form will be suitable for presentation and report. With the last two options, you can choose to repeat or remove item labels. This only works in tabular form layout. In the second section of the pivot table, Design tab, you can choose how the table format will be displayed. Under the Pivot Table Analyze tab, you have the option command, which gives you various possibilities to customize and control the pivot table. Under the Layout and Format tab, you can choose to auto-fit column widths, how error values are displayed. Under the Total and Filter tab, you can choose to show or hide grand total. Under the Printing tab, you can adjust the printing layout. With the Field Setting command, you can choose how and which calculations to be displayed, how to format it. You can access the pivot table options and value settings by right-clicking within the pivot table. At the right of the tab, you can find the commands to show or hide field headers, expand and collapse buttons, as well as the field list. I hope you found what you were looking for in this tutorial. If yes, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to this channel for more videos. Check out other Excel video tutorials by Swag Academy in this playlist. Thanks for watching.